I want to give you what I believe is the most important lesson you'll ever receive. And that lesson is this. Remember that anything can change. Now, that may sound pretty obvious. You might say to me, duh, well, obviously anything can change. But it's surprising how often we forget this. We end up caught up in a situation which we think we'll never get out of, and we end up in a state of despair because we think the situation that we're in at this moment is permanent and it's going to be with us forever. But that's not the case. It can change, and how it changes is down to you. Now, let's say, for example, you're in a job that you don't like. Well, the person who has the power to change that is you. You can look for another job. You can find another job. It might not be easy. These things aren't ever easy, but just remember that you can do it yourself. If you're just sitting there every day moaning about that job and doing nothing about it, then chances are it's not going to change. It's up to you to take the bull by the horns and try and change the situation that you're in. And if you're having financial difficulties, again, that situation not forever. You can change it. You can find a better job. If you're out of work, you can keep looking. You can find a job. Again, it's not always easy, but you have the power to actually change these things for yourself. Now, you might think, well, I'm just going to play the lottery and hope everything changes. And yeah, fair enough if you want to do that. If you've got the disposable income to play the lottery in the hope that that's going to change everything for you, then by all means go ahead and do it. But you have to remember that your chances of winning in the lottery is the same as walking up to a stranger in the street and telling them their phone number, just guessing it out of the blue without ever having met them before. That's the same chances you've got of winning the lottery. So don't necessarily rely on things like that to change for you. It's up to you to make that change. If you're in a situation where you're feeling unhappy and it's causing you stress, then again, you have the power to change how you feel in that situation. You don't have to let it get you down. You can look for that hope, and that hope could be what sort of pulls you through. You have to look for that way to change it. Even somebody who's in an unhappy relationship, again, it's a harsh situation, but changes can be made. You either look at a way to fix the relationship, or you have to come to that level of acceptance that this is never going to work, and you have to move and make that change. It's really within yourself to change these things, and just remember that this is not the way it has to be forever. You can change it. If you have that determination that you want to change that situation, then you can do it. Again, like I said earlier, it's not necessarily going to be easy. Things in life aren't always easy, but you have to know that you can do it. You have the options there. If you just look for them and you have the determination, then you can do it. Again, if you're at work all week complaining about how miserable your life is, and then you get to the weekend and you don't do anything about it, then don't be surprised if on Monday morning you're feeling the same way again. You have to be prepared to make that effort. Don't rely on somebody else to change things for you, because that might never happen. It's up to you to say, I'm not happy with the situation that I'm in. I want to change things, and I'm going to actively look for ways that I can change it. Granted, sometimes it doesn't always work out. You can make a change, find it might be slightly worse than the situation you was in before. You might make a change and find it's a lot worse than the situation that you were in before. But at least you've explored that option, and then you can move on and you can try something else. It's all about trying different things until you find what actually makes you happy, because you're not going to be happy in a bad situation. So it's up to you to try to make that change and make your life better. And then you'll feel better for it. You'll be happier, you'll be more fulfilled, and you'll also have confidence in yourself that you can actually do things to make your life better. And that confidence can be very important. If you're not happy with where you're living, then you can make that change. It might take time and it might take effort. You might have to save some money up. You might have to get a job first to get the money to get out of there. But the options are still there. It's still within your capability. You don't have to just sit back and say, well, this is the hand that life has dealt me and I have to just sit here and suck it up. That's not the truth. The truth is that you can save some money you need. You can move to a different house. You can move to a different town if you need to. Those options are there. They're there for you if you can get to them. So I'm not saying that everybody will ever achieve everything that they want, but you have to remember that you at least have the power to try. Don't ever just give up and think that this is what you're stuck with, or relying on other people, relying on your company to give you a pay rise and that will fix your problems, or relying on winning the lottery, or relying on the government changing and that will fix all your problems, or any of these external things. It's down to you. Take the bull by the horns, realise that you can change your life. You can make the changes you need. They might only be small changes. It might be bit by bit over several years, but you can do it. You have the ability to do that. So have faith in yourself, have confidence in yourself, and make the changes that you want in your life.